Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome in to the first round of a complete season of racing here. 16 rounds ahead of us, the Porsche Carrera Cup Championship, the first year that it is running out here, and of course, primarily sponsored by SimRigs.com. We've got three main sponsors actually all together. We'll go through them in a few moments' time. You're watching here on TrackspotTV, and welcome to everyone who's been waiting for a long time for this broadcast. And we are so excited to be bringing you the coverage today. My name is George Cooke. I'll be leading your commentary today. And I'm going to be joined by Isaac Fogarty, but unfortunately, at the moment, he is currently stuck in traffic. Well, not going to be a problem for those out on track here at round one. Phillip Island ahead of us. And it is, of course, the 4.41 kilometer track. Full configuration this time out. It is hot and spicy out there, and we are ready to go racing. Currently, the 20 minutes of qualifying underway. We'll talk you all the way through the race format. We've got so much information to tell you about this fantastic league. And we're going to start, of course, with our sponsors. Primary sponsor, of course, SimRigs.com. They are the turnkey racing simulator specialists. They've got years of experience, and they know what makes a great setup and provide expert advice, personalized recommendation, and genuine support. Of course, the official provider in Australia for both Sim Magic and Advanced Sim Racing, offering a range of premium chassis and high-quality sim racing gear. Please go and visit them on SimRigs.com. Check out their range and get in touch about your next racing build. That is the primary sponsor of the Porsche Carrera Cup here. Our replay sponsor this year, Raceline Motorsport Racewear, I should say. So sometimes will be called Raceline, sometimes will be called Raceline Motorsport Racewear. If you're looking for custom race suits, approved karting suits, sim racing gear, or accessories, Raceline Motorsport Racewear is the only name you need to remember, with a range that includes OMP, Alpine Stars, Sparco, Bell, Hands, and so many more. If they don't have what you're looking for in stock, they can get it. Check them out on raceline-racewear.com.au. And of course, our secondary sponsor is Apex Lab. Apex Lab founded to offer sim racers the opportunity to unleash their true potential using engineering and coaching from drivers who compete in the top 1% in the world. With a global coaching team of professional sim racers and experience across a range of categories from dirt midgets all the way up to Formula cars, Apex Lab offer a one-on-one coaching sessions, finely tuned car setups, and more. Visit them on apex-lab.co. Welcome in to everyone who's joined us in chat so far. We are so looking forward to getting started, and we're not too far away from the qualifying to be ended, and we'll bring you, of course, the grid, and that will tell us exactly who is where. Two categories of driver in this championship, the pros and the AMs, provisionally put into those categories, 29 in pro, 16 in AM, to be rebalanced to a 50-50 split in round two. That is absolutely key to remember. So this really is a testing ground for what is to come in terms of the placements for the drivers, and of course a number of very memorable team names out there as well. We'll learn more about them as we head into the racing, which is due to kick off in about 3 or 4 minutes or so. Each round is going to follow this format. There is an open qualifying of 20 minutes, and then we kick into the first race, a 25-minute sprint round. That, of course, is worth full points After that, we'll be going to a 5-10 minute break. We'll talk to the drivers who won that race in Pro and Am. Then we'll be heading to race 2, a 45-minute feature race where you really have to have your wits about you. Any of those early crashes going to cost you even more in that. And then at the end, of course, we'll be doing our final interviews with the top 3 and, of course, the top driver in Am class. Very much looking forward to bringing you this all the way through the season. The car, this is another important thing to talk through. We are, of course, a one-make series here, the Porsche Carrera Cup, and we're going to be in the Porsche Cup car, the 911, in brackets, 992.2. So this is a fantastic car. The default setup, I am told, not so much fun, unfortunately, to drive, but luckily these guys are able to bring their own setup. There's been a lot of testing done in the background by the race stewards, race control by race stewards, and, of course, by the league admin, Bradley Cooper, who is going to be racing today as well for Antic Motorsport. Going to be great to see him out on track. Going to be great to see a few drivers out there, a few names that I recognize as well, and pro drivers to look out for. Danny Harris, Donald Sabanal, Jackson Rihanna. And then in the Am class, we've got Dylan Roosh, Jared McLeod, and Jackson, I think that's Stewart there. So keep an eye out on those drivers. They are going to be up there. And at the moment, I'm just keeping an eye on this. There is a little bit of a shake-up happening at the top of the grid, so slightly different to what happened in practice. These things are actually expected in a series that is going to be this close. And I do believe, I've just got to check something very, very quickly. We do indeed have my co-commentator in here today. Isaac Fogarty, welcome into the commentary booth, mate. Great to have you here. Glad you got out of the traffic and were able to make it in time for the start of the race. Welcome in. We're just going to gridding, so tell us about what you think about this series.
Yeah, good evening, George. Good evening, everyone. Glad that I could make it. The universe was really trying, but I made it in just before the start of the broadcast, so I got to hear your amazing intro and just how detailed this series is, how much time and effort has gone into what lies ahead, and I'm really looking forward to seeing these cars rip around. We've got so many great circuits on this calendar, and I'm really looking forward to what these drivers can do.
Yeah, it's going to be great. The racing is going to be really, really close, and that is evidenced by our grid, which is now up on your screen. Note that the red indicates a pro driver, blue indicates an Am class driver. Keep that in mind as we head through into the race. But it is Jordan Malcolm for Riot Sim Racing on top with a 127.899. He's joined by Summit Sim Sports' Jackson Rihanna, 2 1,000ths of a second behind him. Absolutely nothing in it. Sam Muir for 9.5 Sim Sports, I believe it's pronounced, exactly 1/10 behind in third place. He's joined by Daniel Harris for Fiercely Forward. Then it is Ellie Gardner in 5th position alongside Ethan Johnson, Donald Sabanal for Antic Motorsports, the top second top qualifier for Antic Motorsports, in 7th position. Ben Peterson alongside him on the 4th row of the grid, followed by Brad Cooper. You all know him as the league admin. Well, he's right there, and he has secured P9, followed by Luke Newing right there next to him. We're going to go to the next results here. There we go. Marshall Hodges in P11, followed by Alex Spinozzi. Alan Dawson in P13, next to Jackson Starrett. That was the name I was searching for earlier on. Ross Buchanan in P16, followed by Jared McLeod, our top qualifying driver in the Am class. And note that blue name, blue tag next to his name. Tommy Wallace in P17, followed by Mick Polly. Then it is Aiden Lennox Bradley. And we are about to go down to the grid. So here's the rest of the grid. And we will head down. And we had that 2-minute qualifying, which was a 2-minute gridding, which was a little bit quick, unfortunately, for this side. But we are going to go racing now. Here we go. Let's go to the main screen. There we go. And we are array racing. Apologies for the slight camera work mix up there. But we are array racing. And, of course, it is going to be a big gap at the start of this and a huge number of cars right into the tail. Into we go to turn 2, turn 3. Dan Harris and Sam Muir off to a great start. Jackson Rahana, black flag to his name. This early on, not ideal at all. Look at all these beautiful liveries. We've got a car off in the background. Not a great start for him. McLeod has had a great start in P13 there, and leading Am class by some distance. His nearest competitor, Roosh, down in P20 at the moment. Lennox Bradley is tumbling down the field as well. Looks like Newing and Bradley Cooper also having a few issues out there on track too, but it is Malcolm from Harris, from Muir, from Rihanna, and that's all switching around as well. Looks like Peterson has had a problem. He's got off track. He's losing position after position, and that is a dreadful start for Peterson, and finds himself well out of the contention where he was earlier on. And another big accident in the background. We'll get replays of this at some point soon, but for now, focusing on Newing, who's being chased down by Bradley Cooper. And a great start there, but a lot of antics in the background and a number of drivers who have tumbled down the order early on in this race.
Yeah, it was a very messy start for quite a few drivers. They'll be feeling the pressure here early on. It's the race one, getting the jitters, the nerves out of the way, and a couple of big names coming undone right off the start. But it's been a really good start for Malcolm. He's got away, hasn't he, really well, and just leading this field. Jordan Malcolm from the pole position. Daniel Harris, also up into second place, up 2 spots off the start here. Jared McLeod up 5 spots off this into 11th place, just outside the top 10. He's actually battling with Alex Spinozzi at the moment to try and get himself into that top 10 spot. So he's driving really well for an AM class driver.
He certainly is.
So I was trying to look at our totem, who's moving up and down, but I'll hand over to you, sorry.
Well, to be honest, there is so much movement at the start of this race, Isaac. Honestly, it's going to be a little bit hard for us to unpick exactly what's happened. We've got drivers going up and down the field. We've got Lennox Bradley, who's all the way down now in P17. We've got names like Ben Peterson, nearly dead last in 36 at the moment. So keep an eye on that. The gaps at the front still about half a second a pop. Sam Muir is now 1.3 seconds clear of Gardner and Sabal. So a 3-person gap starting to evolve at the top of this grid.
Yeah, we're starting to see a little bit of a pack break out at the front of the grid, and these guys are starting to blow out the inside. Someone car off the road there. That is Spinozzi, it looks like, off the road. Alex Spinozzi, indeed it is. He's losing a bunch of positions and running to Lukey Heights, and that is super disappointing for him. He just got caught wide there and came a little bit undone. But he's back on track now. Looks like he's rolling around in 24th place. And this is the thing, the sprint race, elbows are out. There's only 10 litres of fuel on board these cars, so they're very light on fuel, less than half a tank. They've got obviously they can have up to 22 litres, which is their maximum fuel capacity. So it doesn't feel like a lot of fuel, but they also don't use that much, these cars. So they'll feel a little bit weird. They'll feel a little bit strange early on in this race. Hopefully they can start to settle into a rhythm as these tyre temps come up.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We've just seen Sam Muir go and do the fastest lap at the moment on screen. You've got Lawrence with a number of AM-class drivers right behind him. So this is becoming a real melee here at the crossover point between the Pro and the AM drivers. So keep a close eye on that. We have some replays coming up for you very, very soon. We're going to take a look at the start of the race first. So this is Sam Muir's perspective. Off the line we go, and you can see it was a really good launch for the driver in the middle there, the number 22 car. So really, really great launch for them. And then they got a little bit squeezed here. Jackson Riada got squeezed completely out of that. Literally became the meat in the sandwich. So he did not want to be there, backed out, and rightly so.
Yeah, that was a smart move to back out of that. Did not want to get caught up in that incident. We've got multiple cars still side by side here. A little bit of touch-up from number 52. I'm still learning who they are. That's Lawrence with... Ravuch, I don't know. I was going to have to learn. So I'll just learn how to say a bunch of names. Up the inside, Lawrence makes the move. It's a late braking move on Wallace, trying to find his way around the outside now at turns 2 as they run through turn 11 down towards the final corner at turn 12, but he has to slot in back behind. It was a very late move, very aggressive move and very decisive, but he just wasn't able to make it stick.
Yeah, exactly right. And of course, these two battling for the final position down in the Pro class at the moment. Going to be a move up the inside. This is a lovely overtaking place as we head through the pit straight and down into turn 1. If you've got the inside line here, you're almost guaranteed to have the position. And back at the front, I mean, we're only 5 minutes into this first race. We've got 20 more minutes to go. And that's just race 1. Then we've got 45 minutes up ahead of us. Muir has been slowly but surely reeling in Harris ahead of him. He looks like he's a little bit more off the pace now, not keeping up with Malcolm, and that was a very, very slow entry there for Harris.
Yeah, it was a little bit strange the way he drove off that corner. Just wasn't anywhere near as quick as Sam Muir. And again, just off this corner, Sam Muir around the out was turn to the inside for this corner. But as we run up towards Lukey Heights through turn 8 in towards turn 9 now, they will turn back to the inside as we come over the rise here, the braking zone down the hill. So this is very tight. This section here, don't really want to be side by side until you get to this point really down the hill. Very tricky braking zone, especially in these cars. Pulls them up nicely. And he's holding on for now, Daniel Harris. He's making it difficult. But what this is doing is it's inviting the cars behind. So you've got Sabanal, Gardner, Newing, Cooper, all in behind these guys. And they're going to be part of this battle pack very soon.
Yeah, certainly will be. This is going to invite them all in. They'll all want to have a little look. Sabanal right there The gap is closing, 1.1 seconds behind them. Gardner and the 723 Porsche. I shouldn't really need to clarify that it's a Porsche. They're all Porsches, aren't they? Of course they are. Bradley Cooper, though, doing well, up 2 positions at the moment. He did very, very well in the practice session, put himself onto P2 with only Jackson Rihanna ahead of him. Now, Rihanna has actually come into the pit lane for that black flag. That's why he's so far down in P25. He'll have another opportunity to go at it soon. Now looking at the battle for 5th place, and it's going to be Newing versus Cooper, and they're side by side. Oh, that's getting awkward there. They've also got the number 93 right in behind them. Little look up the inside there for the SES car, but not able to make it through this time. And it's really tricky. The infield part gets so tight, and it always feels like there's an opportunity there, but it closes out the door so quickly.
It does, and that's the thing with this circuit. It is a GT style circuit, really built for these cars. It's so great to see the opening round here up the inside now for, who is that on our screen that has gone for that overtake? I'm just trying to work out all the liveries as well, start learning. That's the 669 car, I believe. No,
it is the 669 car,
669
but
car.
it might be the wrong livery here. We'll do some double checking on that one. Yeah.
Or is it out of position?
No, I don't think it should be out of position.
That's Pedersen, and Pedersen's down the field, so that may be him
right.
Potentially unlapping himself at this stage, and just he's a bit faster, it seems, than Bradley Cooper at the moment, so just unlapped himself. It does appear, but we'll get that confirmed.
You're absolutely right.
Yep, no, there we go.
P35. Yep, that's absolutely right. And we're going to get a little bit confused sometimes with this, because see on the rear wings and on the top banner of the car, you're going to see red or blue. That corresponds to the tag they've got on the timing tower. Red indicating that they're pro, blue indicating that they are AM class in this. So keep that in mind. Of course, Peterson qualified right up there, near towards the top of the grid. So we know he's going to have pace, and he's showing that to us right now.
Yeah, he absolutely is. And this is super unfortunate, super frustrating for him that he qualified so well. He had so much pace in this car. The beauty is he gets 45 minutes later today when the grid resets and he closes back into everyone to really make that happen. And he's going slowly now just to get out of the way, make sure he doesn't impede anyone. And he will be probably feeling a little bit frustrated at this stage, knowing how fast that car can be. Again, he gets an opportunity later on. Back to this battle for the 2nd place on the road, and Sabanal has invited himself into this party, as we predicted, and it's now Harris, Muir and Sabanal battling away for the last 2 spots on the podium. Malcolm has disappeared in the distance, hasn't he? Jordan Malcolm is starting to walk away with this race 2 seconds up the road from these guys.
Absolutely gone. He is foot to the floor, and this is the thing. When you get the 2nd and 3rd place drivers starting to fight, unfortunately what you end up finding is the leader is able to make that gap, able to get away. No pit stop's going to be required for this race at all. Emulating the real Porsche Carrera Cup Championships as much as possible is the goal that we've been told about this series. So you're going to see the drivers out there are basically on a full fuel tank, able to run for as long as they need to in 25 minutes, not that long. To go running at the moment. A couple of cars having some issues in the background. Looks like Brad Cooper has had a major issue. We'll take a look at that in a few moments' time. In the meantime, Muir still looking aggressive, but can't find a way through at the moment. Let's take a look at Bradley Cooper and see exactly what's happened to him. Of course, Raceline sponsoring our replays. Keep an eye on it. It's an unforced error there, Isaac. That is so unfortunate.
So unfortunate, but so easy to do in these cars. They are very much a handful, and it doesn't take much for them to step out on you, especially in the unsettled aero of another car. So he's just it just seems he's come a little bit undone there in the aero wash. High speed corners, high low corners as well. So much turning time around. He is so busy at Phillip Island, aren't you, behind the wheel of a Porsche Carrera Cup car. And yeah, that's super unfortunate for him, but he'll get back on the track. He'll keep pushing on. He's down in 19th place now, so he's not last in the pro class, but I'm sure he'll still be feeling frustrated. The important thing now is not to drive angry, not to overdrive the car, because you'll lose more spots.
That's exactly right. And this is the look of the pro grid just behind McLeod, who's our lead AM driver. Remember I mentioned earlier on, we've got 29 of the pro drivers at the moment. Here we go. Here's a look for Lennox Bradley. As he, this is for Wilson on Buchanan. My fault there. Lennox Bradley is the car in behind, looking to take whatever is left over from this battle. SES round the outside. That's a lovely move. And into turn 1, gets the position over the 333. Wilson secures that beautifully for 11th position. They are 3 seconds behind McLeod. And as I was saying, 29 pro drivers on the grid, 16 of the AM class drivers. This is all going to be rebalanced as they head into round 2. And so we'll take a look at the season schedule a little bit later on. But there will be a bit of a rebalance, and then we'll find ourselves with approximately 18-18 split. That'll be a TBD of exactly how that will split up there. Dylan Rouge, I believe, is how it's pronounced. We'll double check that with him, though, Isaac. I'm sure we'll get that right at some point. He is currently 3rd in AM class, overtaken by Cadet in the 1-2 car. So just this pack here, representing the sort of remainder of the current AM field as it stands right now.
Yeah, these guys having a nice little close battle. I think Jared McLeod is making a really good case for him to move up a class to the pro class, which is difficult considering we've got more up the inside. That's side-to-side contact, Rouge and Cadet. And it's a bit messy as they try to redress the positions to sort that all out. And there'll be damage on that car, I'm sure, for Dylan Rouge. And he won't be too happy about that, I'm sure. That side-to-side contact, late braking move up the inside, just really just ran out of road, didn't he?
Yeah, he certainly did. And I mean, it was a bit of a dive, and this is the nature of this track at that stage of the course. Really, probably not the best place to be looking for that overtake. It's so satisfying, though, deep on the brakes, down the hill, into that right-hander. But the slipstream, you're not going to get too much of that in these cars, but the opportunity in turn 1 and turn 2 is so massive, especially if you hang it around the outside of turn 1. Suddenly you find yourself on the inside of turn 2 and you can secure that position. We've seen that from a number of drivers throughout the race so far. I can see things happening all the way around the grid. It's very, very tricky at the moment to keep up with absolutely everything. Still the gap at the top, not actually growing at the moment. A little bit of a look there from the number 6 car, so Rouge wants to get involved in this fight. Green's going to be there and trying to defend against this attack at the moment. But right now, McLeod completely unchallenged as we are now just over half race distance for race 1.
Yeah, but well, it feels like we've been on track for a lot longer than that. There's so much action that's happened. This is only 13 minutes into this race. We still have another race that was very close on the way into the hairpin. It's these guys battling hard, aren't they? The back end of the top 10. Keep in mind, Jared McLeod right in this battle. He, again, AM driver, making a very good case to get a promotion, which would be really hard to do considering we have to do, there's a lot of demotion that has to happen from pro to AM. And I think he's definitely making his case at this stage inside the top 10, running really well, sticking with Ethan Johnson and Alan Dawson at the moment as they are battling away at the moment. Look at them nose to tail into turn 1, as you said. It's so easy to go from the inside to the outside here if you could get alongside, but he just has to be that little bit closer as they run into turn 1.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Very close racing. Love to see it. And this is exactly what a single spec series is designed to bring us. It's designed to bring us close racing action. That's what the entire league is centered around. We want to see the drivers executing beautiful overtakes and being overtaken by beautiful overtakes as well, although I'm not sure that they're going to be quite as happy about that as us here viewing. And of course, let us know in chat, who do you think's going to win? Who do you think's going to take it in this first round, critical round, but 16 rounds total in this championship spread across the entire of 2026. And so every 3 weeks we have a race all the way up until half race distance. So race 1 to race 8, 3 weeks apart here on TrackspotTV. Then we're going to go to a 5-week break. And then the latter half of the season does begin at round 9 all the way to round 16 with 3 weeks gaps in it as well. So these drivers are going to be doing the prep. They're going to be taking the time to get set up. It's high stakes, it's high action. And this is going to be the key thing for them is to make sure they're putting that practice in, because these races are, let's say, a little bit far and few between. I think we probably would have been quite happy with a race per week with this structure and this format.
Yeah, look, definitely would have been happy with a race per week, but also in saying that, I really do like the spread it out across the year. It really feels like a proper Carrera Cup Championship with it going for the calendar year, and everyone has an opportunity to put in the laps, put in the practice between rounds, just to really make sure that they're performing as well as they can. You're not sort of rushed from week to week to learn a whole new track. You have time to invest. Up the inside now for, that's car 22. This is Harris on Muir, so they're still battling away for this podium. It looked like Muir had him at one stage and just couldn't quite make it stick up on the way into Miller Corner at turn number 4. Now they're all the way up through 8, running on the run, or running up the hill, I should say, towards Lukey Heights. This is a lovely part of the circuit. So flowing, so fast is this track. You spend a lot of your time around here turning left, turning right. You're so busy but it's such a beautiful circuit, isn't it?
It really is, yeah. Phillip Island, beautiful place to come racing. Of course, there's been racing here since the early 1900s as well. 1923, I think it was Arthur Waite, I think it was, winning in a Lotus 7, I think it was. Some really old school racing here at a wonderful circuit, right by the seaside as well. So don't park your car here for too long because it'll get rusty. Well, make sure you've got that sealant on it, that's for sure. We're on board now with Muir as we barrel down across the start-finish line and now into turn 1. So we're going to take a little bit of an onboard look at this track and what it's like from P3 seat. Of course, 9.5 Sim Sports, Sam Muir. Best time out there at the moment of 1:29 flat, so these race times looking pretty solid at the moment, and we had, of course, a lot faster during quali. Nice run there through, we go Southern Loop, this is called, to turn 2, and we've got this little bit of a back straight, so he's trying to cool the tyres down a little bit, just doesn't, maybe it's a bit of psychological pressure there, Isaac.
Yeah, this very much could be just apply the pressure, back off a little bit, let the tyres cool, and then reapply the blowtorch. Just keep Harris in front guessing, keep him thinking about what your next move is going to be. And this is smart racing from these guys. There's 17 minutes in this race. We've got just under 10 minutes to go. They'll be looking at that time and making sure that he's leaving himself enough time here, Sam, to get that move done if he can get it done. But he's also going to be mindful of Sabinal in the background, so he's not quite safe here, because if he gets caught up too long trying to battle for that second spot, all of a sudden he's got another car right behind that's looking to take his last spot on the podium. Exactly,
yeah, through here, turn 10, just through Lukey Heights, and now coming through turn 11 onto the final straight, on the back straight, the main straight, I should say. The Gardner Straight is actually what it's called, turns out. Just coming up to that right now, and of course, if there's any lunges at any point, Moore could find himself in a bad position, as could Harris. Sabinal for Antic Motorsports right there. Ellie Gardner, not too far off in the 723 car, currently holding on to 5th place, but bit of a gap there, 2 seconds, going to be trying to hold on to Newing. Look up the inside line into turn 1 for Moore, but has a little bit of a traction issue on the exit. So he's got to find himself rebalance on the car, and Sabinal is taking advantage of this, currently leading the pack in terms of Antic Motorsports. I know we have a lot of Antic Motorsports fans in the chat. We've had so many people jump in so far, telling us who they're supporting. We've got Daniel and Alex from Slipstream Autosport Motor Fields, supporting both Team Fields and Team Damon, cheering on Carmageddon. We had a little bit of that on lap 1 as we see Tucker dive into the pit lane. And we'll keep an eye on this battle for a few moments' time because it is spicing up. We've had ePro Racing jump in as well, supporting Antic Motorsports. Tyson Marcus is in, Chris is in. We've got Keith Logan in as well for Southern Southern Cross Racing, I should say, sorry. And Uber Gluben saying, let's go Sam and let's go Jared. Excellent. You absolutely love to see the support out there.
Oh, it's so good to see the fans and the supporters getting behind these drivers, and just how much there is, guys, because I know they'll be really excited to go back and watch these broadcasts back. I know as a driver you love to go back and see what it looks like on TV, and to see all the support out there, I'm sure they'll be really thrilled to see that when they get to the post-race. And I, for one, am super glad to see that there's so much out there, because you want to get around a big series like this, don't you? It's 12 months. It's a long time. There's a lot of effort going in from everyone involved in this series, and it's just really good to see everyone getting around it. The drivers, the fans. It's wonderful. And again, we've had some great racing so far to really showcase what this series is all about and what we're in for the next 16 rounds.
Exactly right. Yeah, we're in for a lot of close racing. So on your screen now, you can see the gains for all the drivers at the moment. Harris up 2, Sabinal up 3, 7 for Starrett at the moment in the 555 car, 12 for Wilson. Something's happened to, I think that's Dawson. Yes, it is. And we'll try and get a replay up of that, because he is tumbling down the field at the moment. Looks like he might have unfortunately driven off the track somewhere, or he's having some kind of other problem at the moment. But Dawson dropping down a number of positions now, losing one overall since he, of course, went into qualifying. Jackson Rihana with that black flag at the start. We do believe that might have been an early start, or something was not quite right with his start, and down 13 positions. We were expecting to see him well at the top of this championship at the moment. And so keep an eye on Jackson Rihana for the rest of the season, or certainly for race 2, where I think he will be bouncing back as much as he possibly can. This battle hasn't let up at all. The grid at the moment relatively spread out, a few close battles out there, mostly 0.3, 0.4 of a second. So I think the drivers are just getting ready. They're just locking and loading and getting themselves dialed in for the attack that they're going to have to make in the next 4 minutes by my time, and that's going to be about 3 laps remaining in this race as they head across the line. 1.4 seconds the gap now for Jordan Malcolm. He has not had the screen time that he has deserved so far in the 32 car, but at the end of the day, there's no racing really happening around him at the moment. And a little bit of a slide there through the southern loop, but no problem as a result of it. So he will continue as he is at the moment, and only 0.2 of a second or so has been lost. But I'm wondering, do you start to worry at this point? Has he used his tyres a little bit too much? Has something gone a little bit wrong? If he falls back into this battle, it's going to be anyone's game.
Oh, it certainly will be. That's the last thing he wants to do. These guys are lapping around a similar time to him at the moment. They did 29.5s on the last lap, the first 2 cars, Malcolm and Harris. So they're sort of going like for like at this stage. So I don't think he's going to be too concerned about those drivers behind, because they're also going to maybe hold themselves up a little bit here in a second. You can see Sam Muir is starting to set himself up for another overtake. Liam Newing is setting himself up for another overtake on Ellie Gardner. So trying to get himself into this top 5 with just over 3 minutes, or just under 3 minutes to go now as we look at the timer. So about 2 more laps, you said, George, to go in this race. And no, we've got stops on the screen. There's been no stops in this race, which is great to see. No one's had to come into the pit lane to serve a pit stop. Hopefully we won't see that in the second race either. As you said, they're trying as best they can to mimic the real life Porsche Carrera Cup Series, where it's just get in, green light goes out, and you do not stop until you get to the checkered flag.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, and that gap was momentarily coming down to Malcolm, but looks like there might have been a small mistake from Harris. We'll keep an eye on that. Yeah, the gap's up to 1.3 seconds now, and we're heading into the final couple of minutes of the race. Fantastic stuff so far. Looks like Jackson Riano is actually going to be making a little bit of an overtake there on the number 43 car. Yeah, he's got that done, and now he's got the M-Class leader, McLeod, right ahead of him, who's been holding on beautifully. I think this is almost a guaranteed promotion to pro category, likely for Cadet as well, who's sitting down there in 16th position. Second in the AM-Class overalls. A little bit of a move there, an attempt down the inside line. And that is Lennox Bradley with a very, very brave move. Makes it stick, though, on Buchanan. And then now McLeod's got a decision to make. Does he want to continue battling these pro drivers, or he's going to settle for the fact that he's in the lead of the AM-Class? He's been spun round. That's Jackson Riano, who's made contact with McLeod, and this is a disaster for him, because there comes Cadet. Cadet's through. Cadet is now the leader of AM-Class. So we've had a late switch-up right there, and suddenly Cadet, who probably thought it was never going to happen in first place in AM-Class, finds himself solidly in the lead. We'll take another look at that. It was such a slight touch from Rana. Nothing in it, pretty much.
Yeah, such a little touch, but it's so easy in these cars. High speed. You're looking there, look here, just a little bit of a side-to-side contact, and that driver's done very well to avoid that incident. And it's so easy to do in these cars with the high stakes arrow. Getting aggressive now, trying to find a way past. This is Rahana and Bucket. He's going to go around the outside into turn 1. This is not a place you want to be caught on the marbles. Probably not as bad, given it's only a 25-minute race. But the end of a 45-minute race, that is the last place I would want to be, is out wide on the run into turn 1, because that is going to be a slippery surface.
That's right, and up into the top 10 goes Rahana. This is his... we know he's got pace. We know he's going to be eager to get these points. He wants to have a really good start to his championship. That black flag, before we'd made even a meter of racing on track, had sort of sullied his efforts early on. So he is absolutely going to be fuming about this. Maybe a little bit over-aggressive on some of the overtakes, but he knows that he can make it work, and he's made it work on the outside of turn 1 there on Buchanan. But I'll tell you what, he's probably going to be taking a trip to the steward's office for turning around our former AM-Class leader, McLeod, who's now 3rd in AM-Class. The AM-Class relatively spread out at the moment. Well, this is going to be it. We are at the last few corners of this race. Can Muir make a last lunge on Harris? Malcolm, I should say, is right out there. He's going to take the checkered flag. No chance left for Harris, and McLeod will take your opening race. Absolutely fantastic stuff by Malcolm. I keep saying McLeod. I'm going to have to get that absolutely right. McLeod, of course, was leading our AM-Class, but pro category victory goes to the man on screen right now in first place, Malcolm. And Cadet, out of absolutely nowhere, is going to pick out a P1 spot for AM-Class after McLeod got spun by Jackson Riana not 40 seconds ago to end this race. So checkered flag for the remainder of the field coming up right now. But what a race we've had. 25 minutes, and you're telling me that we've got 45 minutes more in race 2 after we talk to some of the leaders, and oh, this is going to be fantastic. I'm so looking forward to what's coming up in a few moments' time. Total on the grid at the moment, 38 drivers. So, no, that is incorrect. My apologies. That is 36 drivers total. Looks like we've got Ben Pedeston, who's out of the race at the moment. It's going to be Rob Hamilton and Dylan Roosh coming across the line in a few moments' time to finish things off. A little bit of a close battle back here. Mo Ring, one of the pro drivers, right at the bottom of the grid, unfortunately, this time out for himself. But crikey, what an absolutely brilliant way to open the Porsche Carrera Cup here.
Welcome to Porsche Carrera Cup Racing, and what a race it is. That was some really good action, some drama-filled action as well, and that's a story we're going to be seeing quite a number of times throughout this season. So really impressed with what we saw there from Jordan Malcolm. He has really put his mark on this category and opened his account strongly with taking out the first sprint race of the season.
Certainly has. So here you go. A little bit of a cut-off there on the names, unfortunately, but it is Jordan Malcolm, of course, winning that in the pro class, followed by Daniel Harris and Samuel Muir. In the AM class, it is Brock Cadet, followed by Andrew Griffin, who's picked up a P2 as a result of Jared McLeod getting spun by Jackson Rihanna earlier on, and Jared McLeod going to be picking up that final third podium position in the AM class. We'll get that text fixed up for the next round. But there is the rest of the grid down to P36, where we saw Ben Peterson, unfortunately, out of the race early on, 2 laps down for Rob Hamilton, and Dylan Roosh there a lap down as well. Great liveries out there. We're getting some comments in chat as well. We've got a warm-up for the race as well, but we are taking a 5-minute or so break, and we'll be able to get some interviews going as well. So let's get this interview process underway, and I believe we're going to be having Jordan Malcolm and Brock Cadet in the booth in a few moments' time. Now, we've got Isaac in the booth here. He's going to do me a favor, and he's going to drag these guys in while I rapidly mash buttons on my console to get this all set up and ready to go in a very short amount of time. So, Isaac, if you could introduce our AM class leader podium finisher first, and then we are going to bring up a few things on the overlay.
Wonderful. We'll get him in here, and I've now added him in. So we welcome into the booth our AM class victor for the first sprint race of the season, Brock Cadet. Brock, welcome in, mate. First of all, congratulations. Looked like you were running really strong there, and then there was an incident late for Jared McLeod, which handed you that AM class win. So really, really strong account for you to start off the things this season.
G'day, gents. Yeah, look, I mean, all I can say is that was fun out there. It was bloody intense, and my heart goes out to Jared. He was super fast that whole race, and unfortunately got involved in an incident late on, which is yeah, really unfortunate for him. I'll take the win, but I hope that he and I can have some really good battles as the season goes on.
Yeah, absolutely. Go on, George.
Well, have short interviews, I think, during this break, because there's lots more to come. We've got the warm-up happening at the moment. So obviously, it feels like you've been thrown a bit of a victory here, but it was a really strong opening part of the race there. You were plenty ahead of the other guys there, but ended up in a bit of a lull. What was sort of going through your mind as you were in that lull? Were you thinking, okay, P1's away, P3 behind me is not going to be too much of a problem? You know, what was sort of going through your mind?
Look, I just wanted to be clean and consistent. Really, that's what I wanted to do in practice. I was getting plenty of off tracks and making a few mistakes. So really, it was just, let's just make it through this thing. I'm in a really good position in this Pro-Am class. Great start to the season. Obviously, the win came my way, but I would have been more than happy with a cool, calm second, because the first half of that race was absolutely nuts. So I was happy to take it easy for the second half and let everybody else do the battling.
Yeah, it was hectic. There was a lot of action that we couldn't catch on screen because every single part of the track was covered in cars off track and cars going into each other. It was fantastic. Hey, we wish you best of luck for the second race. Thank you very much for jumping in on the radio here, and we'll hopefully see you back for the next race for the interview.
Thanks, gents. Hopefully chat to you later on.
Thanks very much. Okay, let's now bring in Jared McLeod. And Isaac, I'll give you first question again because you did such a good job.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. Well, we now welcome in our race 1 winner, Jordan Malcolm, who took out the pro class victory. And Jordan, first of all, congratulations. What a way to open your account here for the Porsche Carrera Cup Challenge. You have taken out the victory. How does it feel to stand on the top step of the podium in the first race?
Yeah, got a good start. The right sim racing car was on fire that first race. Got a bit lucky there with Harris and Muir behind, having a little battle, and it was allowed me to break away and manage the gap from there.
Fantastic. Yeah, we won't keep you too long, of course, in between races, but yeah, big congratulations. Didn't seem like you had much issue all the way through the race. 1.1 seconds of the gap seemed to be as close as it got at the end. It did look like you were slowing down towards the end. Was it just that the guys behind were pushing faster and faster, or did you find yourself maybe running a little bit afoul of bad tires towards the end?
Yeah, either that or the track temp just climbing and just having probably a lower wing setup. Yeah, just a little bit of oversteer kicking in towards the end, but just managing the gap towards the end of the race there.
Fantastic. All right, well, we'll let you go and prepare for race 2. Thank you very much for jumping in, and congratulations on this early victory, and we'll see what happens in race 2. Might see you back here.
Awesome, thank you. I hope so.
Fantastic. Yeah, so lots of excitement, I think, in the lead up to this. Warm-up is currently finishing, so we'll keep an eye on when we head over onto the grid and get you guys live pictures. We had a small issue at the start where the gridding crept up on us. It always does, unfortunately. It's just one of those things. 2-minute gridding, 36 cars on the grid, Isaac. It's great, but sometimes you just run out of time.
Yeah, that's always it, isn't it? It's just it goes by so quickly. You feel like you're searching for time sometimes, trying to fill in the blanks. I believe we're in the stage now where we're starting to grid up. So cars will kick into that 2 minutes where they have to get on the grid. Really excited to see how this race pans out, because it's certainly, if that first race is anything to go by, this 45 minutes is going to be an absolute cracker.
Yeah, it certainly will be, yeah. So we're gridding at the moment, a couple of minutes to go, and I believe we have a grid set up basically based on the results that we've seen just beforehand. So end of the first race is determining, I think, actually, I'll double check. I'm pretty sure that's approximately what it is.
Reverse top 10.
Is a reverse top 10. Yes, sorry, you're absolutely right
10.
there, because Jordan Malcolm is starting from the back of the top 10. So this is going to be fantastic to see. Can Jordan Malcolm exercise his legs? Can he get himself launched through? The race start's going to be absolutely key for that. There was a melee happening around that part of the grid. So he's got to have a look. He's going to have to be watching his mirrors on this one as opposed to the start of race 1.
Yeah, he's going to have to be looking everywhere at the start of this race, and hopefully he can get off the line well, and we'll be looking at that very keenly, I'm sure, as to how that car gets underway. These cars very tricky to get off the line correctly. You can see there a nice shot of the cars starting to head out to the grid. We're waiting on Thomas Wilson and Ethan Johnson, 2 of our cars at the front, to jump onto the grid. They're all starting to get to the pointy end of that 2 minutes, about 20 seconds to go until they're required to be gridded up. So we're not too far away from a race start here for the 45-minute feature race, George.
We certainly are, and we're looking forward to this one so much. A little bit more strategy, a little bit more tyre wear to contend with here today, as we're about 10 seconds away from the start of this race. I think the weather's looking relatively good out there at the moment. 23 degrees Celsius, 52% humidity, and 22 on track, so a little bit cooler, actually, at the beginning of this race. So that's a critical thing to note for all the drivers. Gridding is just coming to a close in a few moments' time, but Jackson Rihanna, he is going to be very happy to have finished in P10. He nearly didn't. He was in P11 until that very intense overtake that he made around the outside of turn 1. That's put him in pole position for the start of this race, and it's exactly where he wants to be. He's going to exercise those legs. We know that he has got a lot of pace in the car, so a critical start moment for him, critical for Jordan Malcolm. Thomas Wilson is going to be lining up next to him on grid right at the end there. Ethan Johnson, frantic, followed by Jackson Starrett. So critical moments here in the Porsche Cup Championship, sponsored by SimRigs, Raceline Motorsport, Racewear, and of course Apex Lab, coming to you live from TrackspotTV today. Hope you're all having a good time in chat. We're about to go to the green light in a few moments' time. Summit Sim Sports going to be starting on the top line. Sideways Esports with Thomas Wilson second, and then looking further back, Ethan Johnson, Starrett, Newing. We've got Gardner in P6. And then we got Sabanal in P7, Muir in 8th. And here we go. The lights are going to come on in a few moments' time. We're about to go racing. It's 5 lights on. And it's green flag racing. Here we go. Good start there from Jackson Rihanna. Looks like Malcolm's got off to a good start as well. Rest of the field looking clean on the outstart. And that is a decent run for them. But it's going to be Jackson Rihanna holding the inside line. Doesn't want to let Wilson around, but Wilson has got the outside line. SES absolutely going for it, and he's going to have the inside line into turn 2. Jackson Rihanna, it's his nightmare scenario. He's losing positions early on, forced to the outside line through the southern loop. Not a great place to be, because as you can see, that is Ethan Johnson for Antic Motorsport, taking advantage of the situation, running through the gravel that's been left on the track at this time. Behind them, Jackson Starrett holding on from Newing, from Harris. Malcolm up by 1 position so far. Sabanal right behind him as we see a real gaggle of cars heading down into this part of the track. It's completely wild down there at the moment. Wild West, but everyone seems to have gotten away reasonably cleanly for the most part. Lennox Bradley hasn't had the best of starts, but overtakes McLeod. McLeod finds himself up into P1 ahead of Cadet. He's rectified the issue that he had in turn 1, in the last lap in race 1, I should say. But look at this, fantastic stuff from Ethan Johnson for Antic Motorsports. Finds himself in P1 after a fantastic maneuver there on Wilson as well, unable to hold on at this stage of the race.
Yeah, no, he's great stuff. Ethan Johnson, a perfect start even for him. Jackson Rahano has gone backwards off the start. He'll be kicking himself. He didn't capitalise on that pole position start. Hopefully, he can continue to stick with this front group and make some inroads as we get further into this race. It is a long race, 45 minutes, so he's got plenty of time to try and make something happen. Doesn't have to rush as much as he would have to in a shorter 25-minute sprint race. Look at them all swerving back and forth across the track, trying to get some heat in those tires. They are looking for any sort of temperature that they can find at this stage of the race, because these tires are stone cold.
They're stone cold, and I'm actually noticing out on track, it's slightly damp. We missed that there's been a little bit of rain fallen on this track, so there is a little bit of rain animations, as you can see, in some people's window wipers, in fact, going on at this part of the circuit. So they're not only battling the cold tires, they're battling the fact there's going to be water, surface water on the track, a little bit of it at the apex at the moment. Most of the track is completely dry, so this is going to really impact their grip going forward in this race. We're hoping that it'll probably dry out. They'll be hoping that it dries out. And we're 2 minutes into a 45-minute race. Consistency is absolutely key right now. Looking back down towards the AM class, and Lennox Bradley right on the back of Cadet and McLeod. McLeod making that early move to retake the AM class lead in P13 currently, with Green and Akers just in behind them as well. So a big group of cars right now. A little bit of a bottleneck, you might say, for the AM class drivers as it is right now. That is an interesting place for Lennox Bradley to be. Didn't have a great race 1, unfortunately, in the 305 car, but he's looking to make up some positions currently under a bit of attack, because Spinozzi is right there. We saw spinning earlier on the track. I'm sure he's never heard that joke before. Nonetheless, he's looking to make an attack, can't do it into the final sector.
No, and this is a really tricky part. We've seen this a couple times. Keen viewers that love their iRacing content might have watched Alliance Sim Racing last night. They had a bit of rain before both their races that featured last night. And what happens is the water pools inside the curves, got around the outside here for Harris on Newing. Can't make it happen. But the water pools on these curbs, so you see as they run across the curb, there's a little bit of water kicking up. That's where they're going to have to be really careful about their throttle application. You'll look as we go around this track as well. Oh, I had a screen freeze there, so didn't quite catch what happened, but it looks like Harris is really keen to try and get past Newing here. He just has to be careful about that water on the inside. Yeah,
exactly right. Well, of course, Malcolm now up 2 positions from P10 to P8, and Harris, of course, finished, I believe it was in second place. Muir, I see him all the way down in P28, so I think something has happened to Muir early on in this race. We'll try and get some replays up in a few moments' time. But right now, Harris is able to hold on, and the SES car right in front of him. It's going to be scary times from another launch down the inside line, but the number 30 is right there in the way. He's braked really hard into that, so Newing getting right in the way. No further action for the number 3-4 car in lap 1, turn 4. So race control absolutely on top of that at the moment. We do have live race control, live stewards for this entire series, including a live broadcast as well. But wow, Newing had to defend hard there, because Harris is driving the wheels off this Porsche as Rihanna sets the fastest lap of the race.
Rihanna, he's got so much pace in that car around the outside. I thought they were going to make contact there. They've done very well to not collide there. Harris gets that move done on Newing, I believe that is, and he gets his way up into P4, tries to set after Thomas Wilson now. try and move forward in this race because he's got so much pace behind that car. We saw that in race 1, and it was actually Malcolm that had to mention that he had to manage that gap towards the end because the tyres started to come alive for Harris. So that's what we'll start to see as he gets deeper into this race. The temperatures come up. He will have a lot of pace in that car. Keep an eye out for him to close up to this battle in front. Hopefully he can start to break away from Luke Milling and this charging pack behind. And Malcolm, he's up into 8th place, but I think he's finding it a little bit hard at the moment with this train just to move forward because they're all riding behind each other one after the other.
Yeah, exactly right. It does create a little bit of an awkward overtaking situation, and of course he has to keep an eye on Sabanal, who he did overtake early on. Can't find any replays at the moment for Muir and what's happened to him, so for some reason he's dropped all the way down to P25. He's chasing after the town end at the moment for that P24 spot. A lot of work for him to do, but plenty of time for him to do it. We've got a replay coming up of Dylan Rouge. There was some incidents early on. We're going to take a little bit of a slow-mo look at this one right now. See what's happened to Dylan Rouge at this stage of the race. So it's a pretty tight corner to go into, and there you can see at the moment he's just having a bit of inside contact with the number 3-4 car. Unfortunate for him there, and I think that's going to turn him around. Yes, it does. There's the T-bone, and that is the incident. The 346 car obviously did not intend to do that, but a bit of a lunge down the inside line. That is what it takes, though, to race at Phillip Island.
Absolutely, and a thing that'll be playing a factor here as well is the wet, especially down at Miller Corner at turn 4 there. You have to get so far inside to try and go for the overtake to get it done, and as they run into there now, they're going to prove that point for me late on the brakes. Car, that's Buchan going up the inside of Wallace, and there's a bit of a concertina is around. There's multiple cars involved, heavy contact, a front to rear. There's just a bit of a concertina effect there after they spun. It was a spin for Wallace, I believe, off Buchan, and then McLeod, Cadage, Spinozzi and Lennox Bradley had nowhere to go, and it was all just a domino effect, one after the other.
Yeah, that's an accordion if I've ever seen one. Nearly became a parking lot there, which is a very awkward place at Miller Corner, number 4, turn number 4 that is. So awkward moments there. Tommy Wallace has come back onto the track at long last, so he's finally getting going. But look at this battle we've got going right now. Inside moves in the background as well. Spinozzi under a lot of attack from Lennox Bradley, who's been looking fierce, and Spinozzi was able to get past him. They've been exchanging positions for the last 7 minutes so far in this race, and they've got Lawrence behind them as well in the pro category as Rihanna sets another fastest lap. It's a 28.6, so he's rapid right now. Look at the bouncing on McLeod's car there as he barrels through turn 11, and now onto the back straight. He's under putting a lot of pressure on Buchan in the 333 car. That's a pro-level driver, remember, and he's battling for the AM class at the moment with Cadet right behind him. Oh, a little bit of bumping, a paint exchange between the two. An inside lunge, and Cadet's going to take advantage of this as well through the southern loop.
This is brilliant racing. These elbows out, if I've ever seen it. Porsche Carrera Cup racing. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this series. This is what you can expect all season long. Still side by side. Buchan and Spinozzi, I believe that is, on the run towards turn 4. Heavy under brakes. There's multiple cars back in contact. I thought there was... no, there is. He goes around. That is Spinozzi. Who is that spun? Trying to work it out. There's Lennox Bradley. That is Spinozzi.
That is Spinozzi and Brad Cooper. Spinozzi and Brad Cooper, both gone. We'll take another look at that in a few moments' time, but there was a gaggle of Porsches going in. Is that the plural for Porsches? Well, we'll find out at some point. But
I think it is.
A gaggle of Porsches? Yeah, I think we can coin that one. Nonetheless, making light of an unfortunate situation there. Spinozzi, nothing he could do in that situation. The cars behind still got the momentum, and it's turned him around. Let's take another quick look at exactly what's happened there. So looks like the 333 car's been pushed a little bit wide from the car on the inside line, and then yeah, it's all gone wrong, and he's picked up the 93 car as well to boot. So that is going to be a hugely costly situation for those two cars, and caused by essentially a car on the inside line at Miller's. We're never going to hear the end of it at Miller Corner.
No, this is going to be a theme, I think, throughout the night with the challenging conditions, side-by-side Cadage and Lawrence now. And my screen is deciding to, just at the moment where there's action, pretty much every time without fail, just have a little bit of a freeze to sort of leave me guessing, which is quite a lot of fun. Wide on the grass there for Cadage, and he gets it back on the circuit, and I thought he was gone there for a moment because it's super wet on that grass still, so he's done well to get that back on the circuit. His tyres will be a little bit dirty. We've got cars side by side in the background. It's all going on at turn 4. This is the spot. If you want to get an overtake done, this is where you make it happen.
There certainly is there. We saw, I think it was Buchanan who went off in the background. Ryan has had a problem as well, so we'll keep an eye on that, but he's had a major crash back there. Starrett, I think it was. Yes, I think it was him. Spinozzi has managed to get himself back up into this pack of cars as well. Currently pointed, the cameras are at Cooke, who's currently P4 in the AMP class, in amongst everything that's going on. This is absolutely brilliant. I love this kind of racing, Isaac. I love it when it's close racing like this. These cars are all so well balanced. The drivers are all so matched well in terms of their skills and their intentions as well. No one is saying, oh, it's not fair, you got your elbow out, well, I'll get my elbow out. Tit for tat is the way we are going to be living, it looks like, in this Porsche Cup. Back at the top of the grid, Rihanna has made it past Johnson. We missed that overtake, unfortunately, during the carnage that we've had in the rest of the pack, which continues at the moment with Lennox, Bradley and Cadet and McLeod and Lawrence. But the reordering of the top three is this: Rihanna from Johnson, from Wilson, separated by nothing on track, but Rihanna, who finished race 1 in P10, qualified essentially in this second heat, race 2 in the top spot, had a bad launch, and he's finally been able to get himself back up into that top spot. Tricky to do, because that race starts can unbalance you so much in terms of your mentality.
Yeah, absolutely. These race starts, especially a bad race start, can really unsettle your nerves for the remainder of the evening. You go into the next one just feeling so much more nervous because you don't want to get it wrong 2 times in a row, but he's held his nerve. And yes, it wasn't perfect, but he's capitalized here early, gotten past Ethan Johnson, who seems to not be quite done with this yet. He's trying to reinforce the point, I guess, with Rihanna, that says, hey, I'm not going to just let you go. Like, I know you passed me, but I'm not going to let you just walk away into the distance. Rihanna seems to really think that he wants to and that he can, but Ethan Johnson is going to try and stay with him here because he's got a lot of pace behind the wheel of that car at the moment. Wilson trying his hardest to stay with this pack, but he's just dropping off a little bit. Harris hasn't been able to make any inroads like I thought he would be able to. He's sort of still about half a second away from Newing, not being able to clear away from him and catch up to this pack at the front. Hopefully, as we start to see these tyres come into their second phase of life as we get to the pointy end of this race. We're only 12 minutes in, so still in the early stages, but as we get later into this race, we might see Harris come alive with his tyres.
Absolutely fantastic. Well, it's time for a Raceline Motorsport Racewear replay. We've got Ryan Sturrat, I believe it is. Ryan Smith, my apologies. And unfortunately, there's the curse of Miller Corner once again. He's gone for a self-imposed spin, unfortunately, this time out. And it looks like a bunch of antics. This is why it's shown up on our screen, because we had drivers running off the track. We had Craig Spiteri, Ryan Smith going off the track once again. We had Craig again. Ryan again, so all sorts of antics once again at that corner. It never seems to end. It might have to make a new law called Miller's Law. Whenever you go to Miller's Corner, something is going to happen. We could literally place a camera right there and catch nearly all the racing action. Although, to be fair, there's been racing action absolutely everywhere through the grid. So let's recap. At the moment, we've got Rihanna from Ethan Johnson for Antic Motorsport. We've got Sideways Esports and Thomas Wilson has been holding on beautifully to the top 3 pack. Jordan Malcolm, our race winner from race 1, completely uncontended in race 1, currently in P8, following 0.5 of a second behind Gardner. And then in the AM class, it is McLeod from Cadet from Acres. And they've got Cupid not too far behind them as well, about 2 seconds or so. But it is going to be a royal battle for the top of AM class as well in this race. And we've still, Isaac, got 42 minutes to go. 32 minutes, I can't do math. 32 minutes to go in this race. The rain's still affecting them. The apex is still not dry. And here we are looking at these beautiful liveries created by the teams, by designers out there who've done an absolutely wonderful job. I've never seen Porsches look so good.
Oh man, don't they look amazing? And you say we've still got water out there. I think if there's one thing we can guarantee, it's that we won't really see these lines dry up too much, especially with the curves side by side into Miller Corner once again. And I think he's made that point stick there for Stirrett, trying to get up the order, get past. That was a lovely overtake on Malcolm, actually, I believe. So he's taken the previous race winner. He's walked past him, essentially said, I'll have that position. Thank you very much. Trying to make inroads on this field as Jackson Stirrett. He's back 3 spots from where he started. So really on a damage limitation drive to get back up the field, because the last thing you want is to beat down the order. Looks up the inside now. Is this is not done yet? Malcolm and Stirrett still going at it. He's trying to force the point. Is Jordan Malcolm. He's saying, I'm not letting you get by that easily, but I think he's got away with it for now. As Stewart, can he get a good exit off the corner though on the run down? We're watching on board with Donald Sabanel, and he's got a wonderful view of this battle on the run towards turn one. Will he dive out here, try and make a move? No, I think he's going to stay tucked in behind, set himself up potentially at Miller Corner. That has been the hot spot for overtaking in this race, hasn't it, George?
That certainly has been. Another look down the inside line. So Malcolm is pulling all the tricks out of the bag. He's throwing the book of racing at Starrett right now, and Starrett is holding on beautifully for Sideways Esports. So keep an eye here, but this is going to be potentially it coming into Miller Corner. This is where the action's happened so far. The inside line. Can he defend it though? Yes, he does stay alongside, very close to contact. And actually, at the end of the day, Malcolm really had to give him the space there because he was still side by side. But now it'll be inside line for Malcolm, who runs over the curb and loses a bit of traction on the car. That forces Starrett right out to the outside. And guess who's there to pick up the crumbs? It's going to be Donald Sabanel for Antic Motorsports. He's right there, and he's holding on beautifully. So that's an unfortunate double loss of positions. For the 555 car, Starrett not able to hold on as long as he would have liked, but he's got two very good races coming on through, and now Dawson begins his attack as well, so it's not over, unfortunately, for the man who we're looking at right now, Starrett, who's had a really tough time in the last few moments there. I will say that it seems like Malcolm and Rihanna exchanging mentalities. Rihanna now gets the mentality of the race leader and gets to cool and calmly go and do laps out there, while it's going to be up to Malcolm to really make this happen, and he's got to go for these overtakes. He's got to be aggressive, Isaac.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to be to get any sort of inroads in this field. It's a one-make series, as we've said multiple times. I think it's, you're looking at the cars out there, you can tell it's a one-make series. These cars are exactly identical apart from their setups that they have. So they can set up the car slightly differently to a very limited aspect, I believe. So but they do have limits, but they can set up the car in their own way to their specifications. So everyone's maybe a little slightly different just to suit their driving style, but in saying that, as we get a replay now, this is what happened to Jonathan Akers, and he just on the exit of the corner spun, and that's so easy to do with the change in the undulation of the road, the change in surface, and he's just brought the car a little bit unsettled, done a very nice flick spin, got back on the road and continued on. So that's super unfortunate, but he didn't lose too much time or positions there, it appears.
That's right, now looking down at P18, this is the third place for AM Class, being contended between Cupid and Tucker, but Tucker not quite involved in this battle just yet. That is Wallace at the moment getting involved. So Wallace not associated with the team at the moment, running an SES livery at the moment. No, that is Cupid running the SES livery. It's the very beige pink, I think it is, as a car suddenly finds itself off track there. Suspect that they're probably getting lapped, and another send by the pro driver, but beautiful defense here by the number 999, doing a wonderful job holding off an attack from a very fast driver in Wallace, who's unfortunately down 6 positions in this race, with of course the AM-Class driver now up 7 positions. Biggest gainer on the field is sitting with Hamilton in P22 at the moment. So he's up a long way from the back of the grid whence he came. I'm not sure where Pedeston has ended up in this. I think he's well down the grid at the moment. We were so hoping to see him have a really good race, but I don't even know if he made it to the grid this time, unfortunately, yet. Looks like he is unfortunately didn't make it to the grid at all. So that's a real shame, because Pedeston was showing some really, really good speed at the beginning of race 1.
He certainly was, and hopefully we'll see him back for round 2 in a couple of weeks' time, because he, again, was showing a lot of pace, as he said. And disappointing, and the drivers will have a night like that sometimes. It's super tough, but really looking forward to seeing him bounce back in a few weeks' time. But for now, we have I'm trying to do maths in my head. We have 25 minutes more racing left to go, roughly, before we get to the end of what has been a very electric round 1 so far. There's been battles aplenty. They're still going on. Look at there's still red up and down the field. We're focusing on one of those at the moment. You've got Cuppet, Wallace, Cooper and Tucker all right in with each other. This little 4-way battle pack for 17th spot on the grid. McLeod running really well at the front of the AM class at the moment, followed by Cadet, and he is having a great night, isn't he? Side by side up the inside now for That is Wallace on Cuppet trying to make something happen. He's going to go back to the outside here. So we'll have to see the position for now. We'll look to set himself up on the exit of the final corner, perhaps for a run in towards turn one. Gets nice and wide over the rumble strips on the exit down the front straight. We've got another car going side by side. That's a 93. That's Brad Cooper that's going to invite himself to the party. So Wallace trying to set himself up for a move, but Brad Cooper's just said, actually, I'll go past you, and then I'm going to have a look to the outside of Cuppet, but not able to make anything happen at that stage. He might have to bide his time till turn 4.
Wow, good racing here from Brad Cooper. We know he's got a lot of pace. He's qualified right up there in the qualifying earlier on. Had a bit of a miserable race one, but did manage to bring it slightly back. And now he's on the charge from P17 now. Makes the overtake very cleanly on Cupid. Sends him down to P18. Although Cupid, what a send! Absolutely sent from Antarctica there. And Cupid may have to think about redressing that one because it was sent from a mile and a half back. And unfortunately, contact made because he completely missed the braking zone. And now he's off the track. So that is a disaster from him, unfortunately. And that's going to cost Brad Cooper. And they'll be carrying a little bit of damage on the car as a result. And another car hitting the gravel in the background. So Stoner Corner as well, turn 3. Not the place you'd think you'd see drivers running off the track, but it's so easy to lose traction in these cars, and that's exactly what we've just seen there. And for Bradley Cooper, who's hoping to be up there all the way through this season on the league that he administrates. Is it the curse of the administrator, Isaac? I know that you know exactly what I'm talking about.
I unfortunately do know exactly what you're talking about, and it definitely is the curse of the administrator. Very wide, all 4 wheels on the grass there for Bradley Cooper before we cut away. That was a very hairy moment indeed. And yes, I do think as the administrator of the Discord, it is against the rules of sim racing, against the laws of sim racing for you to be able to do well in your own league. So Brad Cooper, unfortunately, falling victim to that, which is not what we want to see at all. Hopefully, he'll be able to break that curse, and I have my fingers crossed that someone eventually can break that curse, and I'm looking forward to seeing Brad Cooper do that at some point this season.
Let us know in chat, what are your opinions? If you see an admin win their own league, what do? Do you think he must have set it up conveniently for himself, or do you think, wow, he's actually driven really well, we'll treat him as a driver this time? Let us know, but it seems like the majority unfortunately do end up falling afoul of their own series, and let's see if Brad Cooper can make a dent. Probably not happening in round 1 here at Phillip Island, but maybe happening in round 2 in 3 weeks' time. Speaking of round 2, we do of course have the season schedule we can bring up on the right hand side of the window, and of course on the 11th of Feb, make sure you join us for what's going to be a really good race at the Bend, and it'll be round 3 at Adelaide. Round 4 will be at Bathurst. I mean, what an opening to this series. All amazing Australian tracks. Then we head to America for Watkins Glen, a TBD, Miami or St. Petersburg for round 6, Long Beach round 7, and then of course we round out the first half of the season in Mexico, one of the newer tracks here in iRacing. What a calendar this has. 4 tracks, all starting in Australia, Isaac. That's got to make us all happy, surely.
Aussies, Kiwis, we love to see it. Side-by-side action as well. That's something we love to see down the front straight of Phillip. I'm going to go 3 wide on the run towards turn 1. This doesn't work. There's contact side to side with Cupper. There's more contact on the outside, and off the road goes Akers. And 3 does not go into 1. That was always going to end in tears for someone, and unfortunately, Jonathan Akers is the man that has fallen the most victim to that situation. Super, super unfortunate for him. That could have been so much messier though, so he'd be grateful to get away with a relatively straight car, but wow, that was heart and mouth stuff.
That was very, very scary, and yeah, it looked like the overtake maneuver was attempted, and unfortunately got slightly shuffled wide, and there was another car there. So unfortunately the car on the furthest part of the outside line is always going to suffer the most in this situation. We return to the top pack because here we go. It's going to be Harrison Newing going for, at the moment, Luke Newing trying to make the overtake. He's going to go for the outside line into turn 1. Close quarters racing, millimeters in it, and it's going to be a back out for the SES driver Newing. At this stage of the race, he does not want to take too many risks, and he's got his teammate right in front of him as well. Well, 2 cars, and well, 1 car in front of him, I should say. So 2 sideways esports cars. Thomas Wilson still holding on to 3rd position, and Luke Newing probably wanting to either take that position or help his teammate win it. Now that's another nice move there, and Newing is going to try down the inside of Miller. Here we go.
Oh, still going on. These guys are battling away on massive curb use there for Wilson, who pretty much tried to walk across the curb, but now is going to open the door for Newey to go up the inside and get that position from his teammate and move up another spot. So Wilson, that curb just unsettled the car, a little bit of water on the tyres. It's still standing there. I can still see a few puddles here and there, and that has brought the car just ever so slightly unsettled. We've got someone in the chat saying that if it's Brad, they're all for it being rigged, but if it's another admin, then they're all for it and it wasn't rigged. But if there's another admin, then it was 1,000% rigged. So it seems there's a little bit of bias going on at the moment.
Well, I think that's a massive vote of confidence for Brad Cooper and his leadership here at the Porsche Cup Championship. He's been fantastic in the background. He's gotten us set up with all the data that we need. It's all very well and neatly collated as well in beautifully complicated spreadsheets, and he's an absolute winner of an admin. So for those admins out there that do need to rig it, well, you're definitely barking up the wrong tree. Be more like Brad, I think is going to be hashtag be like Brad. For the race admins out there rigging their own races. I don't think there's too many out there that do that, to be honest.
No.
Sometimes you're just good at what you do and you want to race with others doing that exact same thing. But I'm glad to see that our glorious leader, Brad Cooper, has got a lot of fans in amongst this brand new league. First time this is being held, 16 rounds ahead of us across the entire 2026 schedule. Of course, all the broadcasting will be brought to you here on TrackspotTV. Do give us a like and a subscribe. Let us know how much you like it and love the racing here, because it is set up for an absolute fiery season all year long. And that is absolutely glorious. It's rare to see the full-length seasons like this. We're going to be going racing nearly every 3 weeks in this season. We've already got Tyson using the hashtag #BeLikeBrad, Monica, so we've made it a thing already.
Well, I'm going to start using hashtag #BeLikeBrad just in everyday use. Just confuse the people that don't watch this broadcast. When I ask questions, I'll point them towards it to come and work out exactly what we are talking about. But no, it's wonderful to see, as you mentioned, George, just a full season of racing that's going to span over the calendar year. You don't see too many series like this. And with racing like this, how could you not be excited about the fact that we've got 16 rounds in under 12 months? So that's just over a round a month. Which is a really good average when you think about it. So plenty of action to keep you nice and busy at home, and hopefully you're enjoying what you see so far. I know these guys are out there having a lot of fun right now. Rayhana and Ethan Johnson battling away. So we've had another change for the lead. While we've had all that action going on further back in the pack, there's still a race for the lead out the front, and Rayhana and Ethan Johnson, they're making it hard for each other, aren't they? They've pulled away from Harris, who has not been able to make inroads on this front group, has he?
No, he hasn't at all. I mean, 3.6 seconds the gap there. I mean, he might be able to reel these guys in if they start fighting. And we know, of course, that Rihanna is going to be wanting that P1 spot back. He's going to be eager for it, especially after what happened in race 1 and now in race 2. But Ethan Johnson, I mean, I can't sing his praises enough for Antic Motorsports. What a start off the line. Rihanna was in pole position after the reverse top 10. And I tell you, that start from Ethan Johnson has put him in this position you see right now. Yes, we've got Malcolm back there. He's gaining positions. Yes, we've got Harris back there, finished P1, P2, respectively. But this is a true epic battle for the lead of this race. And Rihanna's keen. Ethan Johnson's driving the wheels off the Porsche. I think Rihanna still holds the fastest lap of this race as well. And honestly, anything could happen. Here we go. It's going to be Rihanna down the inside line. Oh, he's not given a lot of space there to Johnson at all. He's run him a bit wide, so Johnson's going to have a little bit of work to do to catch back up. So shoulders and arms and elbows and fingernails and everything is out at the moment here at Phillip Island.
Well, you saw Ethan Johnson, those marbles starting to form on the outside of the circuit. He got a little bit unsettled on the outside line, just where that dirty off the racing line, because all the tyre wear is starting to form up what we call marbles on the outside of the track. That's a very slippery surface to be caught out on. And Ethan Johnson, you saw the front end just wiggle slightly in that situation, had to roll out of the throttle, which meant that Rayhana could just pretty much drive straight through. And he'll have to do a bit of work now to catch back up to Rayhana. So all the work for Ethan Johnson to do. He's got about a second to make up if he wants to get to the rear wing of Jackson Rayhana. But this is a battle for the last spot on the podium. Harris, Newing, Wilson, Gardner, and Sabinal not too far behind these guys either. So very deep under brakes from Newing. He's done well to pull it up, not make rear contact with the or front contact, I should say, with the rear end of Harris. But this is shaping up. This is going to be a really good battle all the way to the end for the podium, with all 5 of these drivers, I'm sure, getting involved very, very soon.
That's right, yeah. Looks like Rihana's really put the foot down now. 1.2 seconds the gap, and then Harris 2.8 seconds the gap. So a little bit of work to do at the moment for Harris. Newing right behind him, though, so Newing has got a real chance here for SES, Sideways Esports. They potentially could be picking up a podium here in the pro class as we head towards the last 15 minutes of this race. Behind them, Wilson, Gardner, Sabinal, all fighting and all getting ahead again of Malcolm, who did win race 1, had to start in P10 because of the reverse grid, and found himself up into P6 at one point. Now finds himself being overtaken by a number of drivers, and a little bit of an awkward defense there for the 22 as SES try to make a move up the inside line, but are blocked with a middle of the road car in the number 22 blocking him. So definitely some defensive driving going on by Harris, and he's got the pace. He just needs to make sure that he defends safely into these corners. At the moment, completely legal. And there we go. This is so awkward. This is so close between them. I thought he was going to touch the rear of the car and send it spinning round, but that shows the level of skill that we're being on display here by Luke Newing and all the drivers on the grid. It's been absolutely brilliant so far, watching the skill. These guys are able to drive within a millimetre of each other and still be safe for the most part. Yes, we have seen our incidents out there throughout the race as well, but it is what it is. Now we are being asked to have a quick look at Polly down there. Mick Polly for Southern Cross Racing, holding on to P15 at the moment, and that is 14th overall in the pro class currently. He's got Brad Cooper now back out of the wars once again. He's been sorted out by the Red Cross and patched back up, and the car seems to be operating relatively smoothly at this stage, I would say. But he's catching now rapidly to Polly. He's looking a little bit slow on some of those exits.
Yeah, he's struggling a little bit with these tyres, Mick Poley. And this is a driver that I've seen quite a lot of. He's got the very famous 911 number on his Porsche, so he's got one of the better numbers, I would think, for this series. Up the inside now, Brad Cooper into turn 1, and he gets that move done relatively easily. Does Brad Cooper, makes it look quite simple. A textbook overtake on Mick Poley, and he will walk away up into 15th spot. We've got smoke in the background, so someone's gone off the road somewhere. Trying to see.
That is Dylan Roosh. That is Dylan Roosh who has gone
and
for
he just came out of the pit lane.
Yes, he did. You're absolutely right. He did just come out of the pit lane. So for whatever reason, needed to jump into the pits, maybe to repair damage. We'll take a very quick look at that on the replay. And here he is now. So got the SimRigs library on there. And, cold tyres. Yeah, 101, isn't it? It's just every single time it'll catch you out. Every single time you go out the pits. And especially here at Phillip Island, where you're immediately into the S's into turn 2.
Yeah, it's super easy to be brought undone by cold tyres, especially at this track. The cars require so much. That's very late from Harris Newing on Harris to go for that overtake. Looks to the outside, can't make it stick at the moment, but he's getting aggressive now, Newing. He's running out of time, he knows it. Just over 10 minutes to go in this race, about 11, so probably only 5 or 6 more laps to go, I would suggest, in this race today. And he doesn't have a lot of time to get this done if he wants this overtake. Looks in towards turn 4, down towards Miller Corner. This has been a real overtaking hot spot for our drivers today, but brilliant defense from Daniel Harris, from Luke Newing, and this pack in the background. These two won't want to battle too hard, because if they do, there's about 5 or 6 cars there in the background lurking that are ready to pounce on this last spot on the podium.
Yeah, exactly. This is going to be a real battle for third place, and Harris holding on at the moment, but Newing has been looking ferocious in that Porsche right behind him for Sideways Esports, who are looking to put themselves solidly on the podium, which will be a great result for them. They've got 2 cars right there. Thomas Wilson still holding on from Ellie Gardner. Sabinal still in there, and of course Riot Sim Racing. Malcolm saying his car was feeling great throughout race 1. May not be feeling as good at the moment. We've got a bit of cloud cover coming over. I just noticed a significant drop in the light out there on the track, but Fortunately, the track temperature has increased to 29 degrees Celsius. So despite it being very cloudy and the humidity starting to increase here at the seaside destination of Phillip Island Raceway, it is still looking good out there for optimal track racing. Gardner going for a move in the background as well. As you can see, an very awkward moment there. Ellie Gardner has been a little bit of a dark horse in this race at the moment. The 723 car now making the move, or defending, I think, against Donald Sabanel for Antic Motorsports. And that's an off-track there for Harris. And we also see Wilson making the off-track. So Ellie Gardner got an opportunity now to move up into P5. Does so momentarily, but into Miller Corner. Can, I believe, she defend? It's going to be a car on the inside. Tom Wilson doesn't want to give up the position, and she can't hold around the outside, but that is really close racing.
This is not done yet. They are elbows out at the moment, these guys. Harris and Newing were going side by side as well. Newing was ahead just for a moment, but Harris managed to get it back up the inside into Miller Corner, get that overtake stuck. And he defends that podium. Now, Luke Newing is making him absolutely work for this podium. If he wants to keep it, does Harris. So, not an easy time this evening for any of these drivers by any stretch of the imagination. They all have a little bit of a think about an overtake down the hill as they run down from Lukey Heights, but nothing able to be done. They're not quite close enough to make anything stick. It's a super tricky braking zone down the hill. You don't want to brake too late, even if you are trying to go for an overtake, because that can really cause you to lock up, carry too much speed, and cause a massive accident. Jordan Malcolm sitting at the back of this pack, he's struggling to make inroads, and I don't necessarily think that's a reflection on the pace that he has, but just how hard these guys are all racing. It's so difficult to make an overtake stick with these guys because they're all clued into it. They're all really looking in front of them, looking backwards everywhere they go, and it's super hard to get past anyone at the moment because these Porsches are about as wide as the track is.
Exactly right. Malcolm and Sebanal have been locked in a battle since the race start. They've moved up a couple of positions each. I think 3 positions up for Sabanal, 4 positions as we see Ellie Gardner still going for it on Thomas Wilson. These two going for it. Oh, there's been an issue for Thomas Wilson, and he finds himself off track. We will try and find if there was some contact involved. We were still on board with Malcolm at that time, but Ellie Gardner has managed to make the overtake, moves up into P5, but this battle has cost all of them 2.5 seconds the gap now to Newing, who's still holding onto the rear wing of Harris at the moment. So whether there was contact or not, we're not 100% sure. Doesn't look like there's any significant damage to the cars, but that was definitely Wilson slightly off angle through into Miller's. So whether he's run wide and made a mistake in the braking zone, or whether or not him and Gardner have unfortunately come together and made a bit of contact, we shall see as the sunlight returns and shines on this very metallic, very pink car for Ellie Gardner. All these liveries are just looking so fantastic. I keep saying it. I know I keep saying it. I swear to goodness that this is not filler content, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just so astounded by how everything looks out there on track. It is absolutely brilliant. We've got some action happening down here in a very slow number 93 car. Oh dear, Brad Cooper has had another big issue, and I think we'll be able to bring this one up on a replay. Let's see what's happened to Brad Cooper. Has it been an innocent mistake, a self-imposed mistake? Yep, he's cooked it completely on the exit, and he's probably not going to thank us for bringing up this replay, Isaac.
No, he's not. There goes his front bumper, so he's going to run faceless for the remainder of this race, but he's into the pit lane now and has to come in and repair that damage. That's super heartbreaking for him. He was moving well through the field, looking strong at the back end of this race, and unfortunately, just all on his own, got caught out on that curb. I will note, when we looked at the weather earlier, there's up to 40 kilometers an hour of wind at the circuit at the moment. So depending on which way the wind is blowing, there's going to be parts of this circuit where these cars are getting unsettled, because 40 kilometers an hour, that's not a small amount, especially in a race car when you're trying to rely on these heavy aero setups. Look how large those rear wings are. So high aero, high downforce cars, 40 k's of wind, that's going to add a bit of challenge.
Yeah, it certainly will, and this is an important battle that's starting to evolve here. Hamilton looking for the last podium position, 3rd place in the AM class, and taking that away from Cadet, who we had in the interview box, of course, for winning AM class in race 1. As we see a new fastest lap set by Ellie Gardner, a 128, and that's a slight moment there, unfortunately, for Cadet's connection. Does manage to get back on the packets, whatever we want to call it, the network. And luckily for him, it's not going to cause any problems behind. Luckily for Hamilton as well, because I'll tell you what, a blinking car in front of you is not a comfortable thing. And the gap that was about 0.4 of a second is hovering around there at the moment. So whether or not there's a little bit of damage, does that front wing look a little bit deformed to you? It might just be the lighting, but nonetheless, Hamilton's car behind is certainly not looking that way. And Rob Hamilton is on a charge here, and this is for the last podium position in AM class.
Now, I have been told I was looking in the chat earlier, this is Rob Hamilton's first time steering a car in sim sports or sim racing, I should say. So someone that is relatively new to this sim racing, he's doing a wonderful job tonight. Fourth in class, looking at the back end of the AM class podium. So if he can get this overtake done on Cadet, he could be looking at a podium on debut, which will be an amazing effort.
Oh, certainly will be. I mean, if you're on debut like that, under those circumstances, hats off to you. I've been sim racing driving for a long time. I'm still not this good. So I should probably practice more and spend some in the commentary box. But, you know, I like to do this here. I think this is why we're in here. Nonetheless, another little move there. The racing instincts for Hamilton clearly on point. Moving to the outside line, trying to keep that car in front just offline. And that's going to be the key thing for making an overtake. If you're going to do it through the middle part of the sector, that is how you're going to have to do it at the end of the day. We've seen Thomas Wilson has gone off the track, but I think rejoining safely, hopefully at some point soon. We have Jordan Malcolm now really close with Gardner. Gardner's lost the position there, so I'm not 100% sure if there's been an issue. Thomas Wilson has dropped about 3 seconds behind these two, but Malcolm really putting the foot down now. Sabanal has put a second and a bit just between him and Jordan Malcolm, so that's not good news for him. Currently staring down, finishing off the podium. 4 minutes and 40 seconds remaining. In 4 minutes, yes, I said 4 minutes, I think. 4 minutes and 40 seconds remaining. Wow, in this race, it has gone by absolutely like lightning. It has gone by so quick. I tell you, the best is yet to come, I suspect, because we've got still a bunch of battles. Here we go, Hamilton on Cadet, not able to make it through Miller.
No, I could make that stick there. Had a look around the outside, but Hamilton is really just trying to capitalise on Cadet. Seems to be struggling at the back end of this race with his tyres, so maybe not looked after them as well as he would have liked to. And he's just struggling for grip towards the back end of this race. Rayhan has just disappeared in the distance, hasn't he? Almost 4 seconds on Ethan Johnson since that battle about 15 minutes ago. So he's really started to pull away. Harris is struggling to catch up to Ethan Johnson, but he's still got Newing all over the back of him. So that last spot on the podium is far from resolved. And this last spot on the podium in the AM class is also far from resolved because we've got a car behind as well. The 35 car, Lochel is trying to get himself involved in this battle as well. So we could have a three-way battle very soon for the last spot on the AM class podium. Rob Hamilton right under the rear wing of Cadet as they run down towards turn one. Just over 2 minutes ago, pulls to the inside, is alongside through turn one. They're going to go side by side. These guys are leaving each other plenty of room. Very respectful racing. Cadet will have the inside line as they come towards turn two now. So the outside switches to the inside and he gets to hold on to that position just for a little bit longer. But here's the 35 car. So now he's right with these guys. And now Rob Hamilton was really happy to look forward. Now he has to look forward and backwards because he could be susceptible to a move from behind.
That's right. Yeah, he's spent a lot of time now with Cadet, and Cadet is defending beautifully at the moment, trying to hold on to this third position, which would be a great result, a P1 and a P3, when he was only completely happy with a P2 in race one and was probably not expecting to be on the podium twice and could find himself with a pro badge. In fact, any of these three drivers potentially could find themselves with a pro badge as well. Hamilton looking for that alternative line again. Lochel not able to make any kind of progress really in holding on. Whoa, that's a very nearly a pad lunge by Hamilton. Fortunately does back out of it just in time. Very tricky to do on the downhill braking zone into that last part of the sector. Very tricky stuff, but manages to do the sensible thing and back out of the move before he spun Cadet up there in P14. McLeod and Wallace exchanging positions, but still no challenge for McLeod in terms of his AM class leadership at the moment. And so there we go. Cadet has returned to our screens for a moment there. I looked back and Cadet wasn't there on screen at all, so I thought it might have jumped into the pits or something. Not the case, but closes up once again. Looks like Hamilton and Lochell both benefiting from that long pit straight and able to actually keep up that momentum all the way through the southern loop in turn 2. So not doing too badly, but I tell you, up the top, we're about to have a big battle brewing because it's going to be Newing versus Harris, and this, again, for the final podium place in Pro. So there's a battle for third in both Pro and Am at the moment. This is absolutely fantastic racing here at Phillip Island.
Well, this is going to be the last lap of the race, isn't it? So this is going on. They've managed to catch Ethan Johnson. So Ethan Johnson is not safe here. Alongside goes Harrison Newing. Harris up the inside, back into that third spot place, but it's going to turn to the outside as they run towards turn 2, but he's already got it done. Newing got caught outside wide on the grass, which is not an ideal place to be at all when you're trying to hold on to a position. And now Harris, he's about half a second behind Ethan Johnson. Can he make some sort of inroad on the second place man who sat pretty comfortably in the top 2 of this race since the green light? So since the word go, he's been here pretty comfortably. This is the first time he's been under pressure for that second place spot for quite a considerable amount of time. And there's 3 or 4 drivers in there that fancy themselves to spot on this podium. This is far from resolved, George.
Yep, Harris from Newing, from Sabanal. Malcolm, unfortunately, out of contention for this one, but it could well be either of those 3 drivers. They've got a whole bunch of cars up ahead that they're going to be potentially needing to get ahead of as well. So this is going to become very, very complicated. We're coming up towards the end of the lap. Oh, it's an awkward place for the 3, 4, 5 to get out of the way. That's advantage Harris. There's a car off the track on the middle of the apex on the grass at turn 10. So SES, unfortunately, have lost a bit of time to that. So Harris has got a bit of breathing room. But across the line, there we go. Jackson Riata wins race 2 after a dismal performance in race 1, qualified P1 for this race, and managed to secure it. Johnson finds himself in P2 for Antics Sim Sports, and then P3, Daniel Harris. And we're going to wait because we've got a whole bunch of more cars to come across the grid, and it's going to be McLeod. If I jump to him now, there's McLeod right now. He's not too far away from the end of this race, but he's in the position to take the AM class win. So after that spin that he had and the contact with Jackson Rihanna in race 1, race 2 has certainly turned around, and the potential of a pro badge to his name going into round 2 is certainly there. And he'll be a happy man right now as he crosses the line and finishes. Then it's Tucker. Looks like Tucker has somehow ended up in P2. I'm not quite sure when he's done it. He's done it way earlier in the race, and he's just held on beautifully. Cadet holds on for P3 in AM class, and Hamilton, unfortunately, falling to the wayside at the end of this race. What a way to end round 1, ladies and gentlemen. Race 1, 25 minutes of intense action. Race 2, 45 minutes of intense action, all the way to the checkered flag. Battles right the way through the grid. Fantastic stuff. We've got a lot to digest, Isaac. We've got interviews coming up. We're going to interview the top 3 and, of course, the winner of AM class as well. So we'll get ourselves prepped for that in a few moments' time. We'll get the results up in a couple of moments as well as we see the last couple of cars come across the grid. Fantastic stuff.
Yeah, fantastic indeed. As we've got Jared from Simple Racing Broadcast in the chat, and as he said, it's lovely to see so much close racing at the back end of a 45-minute race. And how is that for action? Just non-stop from green flag to checkered flag from start to finish. Welcome, as we said earlier, I think I've said this a couple times tonight, but I'll just reiterate again, welcome to Porsche Carrera Cup Racing. This is some of the best one-make racing you will see, and buckle up because we've got a lot more of it to come. But I'll hand over to you, George, because we've got some results to go through.
We certainly do. So again, apologies for the text that's slightly cut off here, and if I make any mistakes, it's because a U probably looks like an L or whatever is going to go on here. But Jackson Rihanna, of course, winning race 2, which has been absolutely fantastic for him, coming back from a rather dismal race 1 result. Ethan Johnson, what a great start he had, and he took the fight to Jackson Rihanna all race long, and still gets himself a whole bunch of points for this as well. Daniel Harris in P3 for Fiercely Forward in the number 22 car, and then it's Luke Newing in P4, and Donald I will get this name wrong if Sabanal, there we go, because it's cut off, so I can't pronounce it properly. Sabanal in P5 for Antic Motorsports. So a good haul of points for the top 5. Then it's Jordan Malcolm, followed by Ellie Gardner. Thomas Wilson finds himself in P8, followed by Jackson Starrett in P9. And rounding out the top 10 and Pro Grid, it is Alan Dawson. No AM drivers up there in the top 10 so far. So the 29 Pro drivers who are currently settled into their positions will get shuffled around for round 2. Looking further down the grid, of course, in AM class, it is Jared McLeod, who's won race 2, followed by Brandon Tucker, who's gotten P17 overall, but P2 in the AM class, followed by Brock Cadet, who joined us, of course, for an interview in between the 2 rounds. Won the AM class in race 1, and now, of course, in race 2, he's managed to pick himself up another podium position. Fantastic stuff. On the screen, the remainder of the results headed down towards Ben Peterson, who unfortunately did not participate in this race. Looks like Chris Townend, Shane Mowring, and Ryan Smith all not completing the race, unfortunately, with Greg there in P32 being the last man on grid to come across the line. Right, we are going to get ready for our very, very interesting interviews that are going to be coming up with the top 3 in the Pro class, and of course the top driver in the AM class. And I think we'll go in the race order this time, Isaac. So I will hand it over to you. We'll do a couple of questions each on this one while I get things set up and ready to go.
Wonderful. We'll get in. We're going to do it third place or first place, George. We'll take it as dealer's choice.
I think let's go with first place in the Pro category first.
Wonderful. All right, we'll drag him in. So we welcome to the booth now our race winner for the first feature race of the season, Jackson Rayana. Jackson, welcome to the booth. First of all, congratulations. 45 minutes out there would have been tough. A difficult race 1 for you in the sprint race, but it's nice to bounce back and take the victory in race 2.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Yeah, shame about the first race. Didn't have my clutch set on my paddles, so I went to grab it, and the car crept forward, and I'm like, oh no. I knew straight away that it was going to be black flag, so drove a bit angry in that first race to get back to where I was. Thankfully got back to P10, and yeah, set us up nicely for the feature. But yeah, car was a jet, really happy, and honestly not a huge tin top driver, so didn't expect that result, but very pleased either way.
Yeah, absolutely. No. Talk us through, as you said, you're not a huge tin top driver, so talk us through how you're feeling in this car. Obviously 16 rounds in this season. Obviously, as you said, you're learning the clutch and getting the hang of these cars. What was it like to drive in those challenging conditions out there? You had a bit of standing water at the start of this race. That would have made things a little bit trickier.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd never driven this thing in the wet, so I mean, lost a few spots off the start, just taking it easy. I knew the car would come good when it got dry. Track condition was actually quite windy at the start of the race too, so I knew it would dry up quickly. So just took it easy. I knew I had a lot of time, and yeah, as I saw throughout the entirety of the race, the car came to me, so it was really good. But yeah, now I'm really looking forward to the rest of the series and seeing if we can keep this form going.
Fantastic stuff. Yeah, Jackson. So, of course, the beginning of race 1, you had Ethan putting a lot of pressure on you, overtook you at the start. What was the plan to get back past him? You showed so much speed and so much aggression in race 1 to try and just recoup that P10 position, which put you in a great starting spot, but then it seemed to tumble the other direction momentarily.
Yeah, I think it was a bit of nerves, definitely. Like, as I said, I definitely didn't expect or come into this series expecting to be fast straight away. Like, I'm always been an open wheel driver. But look, lots of exciting things happening with this new car. I've always said that I'll want to get used to the Porsche Cup car if I'm going to go to a tin top category. And I guess this is now a commitment to that. But yeah, Ethan definitely put up a huge fight, and it was really cool. Banged doors a bit. That's something you can't do in open wheelers, which I quite enjoy. But yeah, fair play to him. Luckily, the car held on in the end. We were able to pull the gap, so to get a nice, comfortable win in the end.
Exactly. And before you go, we've got the Bend coming up in 3 weeks' time. Going to be practicing hard for that one, I imagine.
Absolutely, and I love the Bend too. Like Phillip, I like the Bend. It's a fantastic calendar. Don't think there's a single track on here that I'm not a fan of. So yeah, really excited for the season ahead.
Excellent. Massive congratulations to race 2 winner. And of course, plenty of points to your name as well going into round 2. So thank you very much, Jackson Rayana. Let's bring in Ethan Johnson now. And Isaac, take it away.
Yeah, we'll jump him into the booth, and hopefully we've got him there. Ethan, welcome into the booth, mate. Congratulations, P2 in that race. You had to work hard for that. Daniel Harris reeling you in towards the end, and some fierce battles as well with Jackson Rehana early on in that race. What are your thoughts off the back of that one? How are you feeling?
Hello. I'm feeling pretty good. It was really good battling with Jackson towards the start of the race, and it's definitely had the pressure on from Daniel towards the end. Car was maybe not the best, but yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah, wonderful. Well, talk us through. We've obviously we've spoke to Jackson about this earlier, but talk us through those conditions at the start. They looked a little bit tricky from a commentary point of view. We saw a bit of water being kicked up, and you were caught in a couple battles there at the start. So trying to go side by side with drivers, trying to work out where everybody was, would have been a bit difficult when you've got these conditions where it's a bit wet off the normal racing line.
Yeah, definitely. It was there were a few wet patches and spots on the racing line where you couldn't normally go. So 2 wide action was yeah, rather interesting, but we all made it work, I think.
Exactly right. Well, congratulations from myself as well, Ethan. Off the line, that was an excellent run. Did you think you had Jackson pipped all the way through the race? I mean, just at the end, he sort of got past. It was a move that we actually didn't catch directly on camera, so maybe you could walk us around exactly what happened in those final stages of the race.
Yeah, Jackson, yeah, we were back and forth going towards the start of the race, and then my car kind of fell off. I started to get a bit of understeer. I think it was a pretty textbook pass from Jackson into first corner, and then I think a few little mistakes from me on my half, and then he slowly pulled away.
And tell us about your expectations for the next round. You said the car wasn't quite as you would have liked it today. Are you expecting to have that resolved for the bend in 3 weeks?
Yeah, work on setup, probably a bit more testing beforehand with the team. Yeah, just not quite enough front that I would have liked, but yeah.
Absolutely right. And we've got someone in chat, Michael Brennan, I believe it is, calling us out for not giving everyone a chance to thank everyone. Of course, everyone's got the opportunity to do so, but I'm sure there's a few people you'd like to thank out there.
Yeah, big thanks to Brad for putting on this series. He's done an amazing job. Big thanks to all the boys in the team that have been helping me, and Lakes Custom Computers for the really good PC.
Fantastic. And of course, we'll hope that Jackson Rihanna can come and give us a few thanks at some point, probably at next round. But nonetheless, thanks very much, Ethan. Congrats on the P2 today in race 2. And we'll see you back here in 3 weeks' time.
Thank you. Cheers, guys.
Fantastic. Right. Well, next up on our interview list, it is going to be Daniel Harris. So take it away, Isaac.
Yeah, we'll grab Daniel Harris. We'll drop him into the booth. Daniel, welcome in. Congratulations, mate. P3 in that race. You had to work hard for that. You had Luke Newing chasing you all the way, and you guys fought tooth and nail throughout the race, so he certainly wasn't going to let you give it up without a fight, was he?
Yeah, no, not at all. Him and I think it was Thomas Wilson did not make that easy on me. Thomas was defending for his life. Managed to get around him, and then I was just trying to pull away, really, and the front right was absolutely kaput at the end of that, and I think Ethan's was even worse. So it was just a matter of trying to keep consistent, and I just wasn't consistent enough, unfortunately. So yeah, it was a good race, good fun. Back from P9, and P2 and P3 is nothing to scoff at, so pretty happy with that result.
No, absolutely. Talk to us about those closing laps. Obviously, as you said, yeah, Luke Newing had Thomas Wilson in there at one stage. I think towards the end of the race, you had about 4 or 5 cars. You were catching Ethan Johnson there in the closing stage. What was that like from yourself? You're trying to look forwards to battle with Ethan, but you've also got Luke Newing behind you. How was it feeling in those closing moments of that race?
Not too bad, to be honest. I was more, I think, getting frustrated with Ethan having his teammate behind. I thought there might have been some shenanigans going on there, but from what Ethan says, there wasn't, and I believe him. So, I'll let it slide this time. But, I just kept my eyes forward and as long as I did that, there wasn't really too much drama. I know if I held that inside, that Luke didn't have the downforce to hold it around my outside. He gave it a good go though, and yeah, it was a good race. Good last 2 laps.
Yeah, it was really close racing between you guys, and excellent skill displayed by you both. You're the only fiercely forward driver on the grid for this season.
I'm not fiercely forward. I don't know why it still says that. I am Effect Simulations.
Okay, there we go. I was going to ask exactly that because we've seen up close currently on the broadcast that it says Effect Simulations on the side of your car. We'll make sure we get that updated for you for next time. But it looks like you may still be solo on the grid. Are you worried about other teams being able to work together to gain an advantage over you?
Not really, to be honest. I mean, there is that, you know, maybe in qualifying, but I'm pretty confident in my race pace to be consistent enough. Unless we're going to some, you know, I know we're going to Daytona and some drafting tracks might have a couple of issues there, but as long as I can find a draft partner, I think it shouldn't be too bad.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Looking forward, of course, to the bend. How are you feeling for the next round? Now that round 1's behind us and you've got a grasp of what these Porsche Cup cars are going to be like in amongst the rest of the grid, what does the bend now start to look like for you?
Scary. I don't know the bend, so I'm going to have to do quite a bit of prep in the next 3 weeks to get up to speed there. I have no idea what setup to run. I just ran high downforce sprint tonight. Just whacked it on, was editing a video all day, so just yeah, got a bit lucky tonight, I think. And yeah, I'll hopefully get lucky at the bend.
Fantastic. Well, we wish you best of luck in your practice and congrats on the 3rd place in race 2. Any shout outs you want to make before we head on to our next interview?
Yeah, just a thanks to the boys at Effect Simulations, and if you guys, anyone wants LMP3 coaching or any coaching of the sort, head over to simcoach.co.uk and hit us up.
Fantastic. All right, thanks very much, Daniel Harris, and we'll see you back next time. Now we're going to bring in our final interview of the night, and of course that is going to be Jared McLeod. Correct me if I'm wrong, Isaac. Jared is ready to go.
He certainly is. I'm going to jump him in here, throw him into the booth. There he is, Jared McLeod. Mate, congratulations. AM-class victory in race 2. He looks all set to wrap that one up in race 1 as well. Got a little bit brought undone with some late race contact, but you bounced back really well in race 2 and ran a pretty much flawless drive all the way through. And I will say, not biased at all, you definitely have the best race number out there in car number 99. So congratulations on that one, mate.
Thank you very much. Is that an Erebus nod?
It's an Erebus nod. It's also my race number.
Oh, true. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, no, it was definitely unexpected to say the least. I probably an hour before the session, I only just got my sim working again after upgrading like pedals, wheelbase, everything.
Oh wow.
So this is the first time I've driven any of this, and first time I've driven the car since I think early December.
Well, it certainly doesn't show that you've got a bit of cobwebs to dust off, because he looks super quick out there tonight. We've had obviously in the AM class moment, we've had a few things thrown around that there's potential we could see you step up to the pro class for round 2 onwards. Obviously, you're looking super quick. You're in the top 10 in the sprint race. Do you feel like you can keep up with the guys at the front, or are you sort of happy being in the AM class?
I mean, I'll take the AM class if I can, but no, it'd be nice to go up to pros. But yeah, I definitely don't think I've got the pace of like Sam, my teammate, and Daniel and all those guys that I race against commonly. So I wouldn't say I'd be fighting up the front in pros, definitely.
And yeah, congratulations from myself as well, Jared. Obviously, race 1 didn't go your way. Got a bit caught up with some of the pros in there. A particular one who was very eager to get on by and get up into the top 10, who shall, for the moment, remain unnamed since we named him so many times during the broadcast. But obviously, that sometimes requires a bit of a reset of thinking. Was that the case as you headed into race 2?
Yeah, pretty much. It was just like taking it on its merit. Yeah, without I haven't looked back at it at all, and I sort of got crossed up, and he surprised me going into that corner. So it was yeah, I'm still not sure what happened. I'll have to have a look at it, but yeah, no, it's always a case of reset, forget about it, focus on what's in front of you. Yeah, pretty much that.
Yep, that's the. Of course, here in the commentary box, we often fish for drama, but none there at all because you've got a great racing mentality on your shoulders. Your teammate, of course, Sam Muir, had a pretty decent race out there today, P11. Are you hoping to work together with him as much as possible, especially in the future races? We're going to the Bend next week. There's a couple of tracks throughout the entire calendar that'll require a little bit more teamwork. Does that give you a bit of confidence here at 9.5 Sim Sports to do that?
Yeah, I mean, as long as I can keep up with him, which I was a lot closer than I thought I would be tonight, so hopefully I can progress to be on his pace and help him as much as he can help me. But yeah, see how the rest of the season unfolds.
Indeed, and so congratulations for us on the M-Class win in race 2. Plenty of points going to your name as well. Any final shout-outs, thanks you'd like to make before we head out?
Yeah, thanks to Sean, Simon, Sam, Craig, who else? Well, yeah, everyone at 9.5 for taking me on. Like, this is my first race with 9.5, so not much of a better way to start, really.
Absolutely right. Big congratulations from us, and hopefully we'll see you back for next time.
Thank you very much.
Fantastic. Well, Isaac, that was a wonderful couple of few interviews that we've had there with the drivers. They've all got their head solidly on their shoulders. The racecraft is all dialed in. And I tell you what, we are in for one amazing season. Let's take a very brief look at the championship standings once we get them up. We just got to select the right class set here. And there we go. So at the moment, it looks like Daniel Harris is actually on top by only a few points. Of course, Jordan Malcolm, who won the first race, started in P10 in race 2, 5 points behind. So I wasn't expecting that from the mathematics that was done in the background, but there we go. Donald Sabanal for the 853 in Antic is in 3rd place at the moment, followed by Jackson Rihanna, Ethan Johnson, Luke Newing, and Ellie Gardner. Then we've got Sam Muir and Jackson Stewart and Thomas Wilson rounding out the top 10. In the AM class, of course, Jared McLeod is going to be leading at the moment on 258 points. His nearest competitor, Cadet, who won the first one, became only 3rd in the second race, 248 points to his name. And then, of course, it is Andrew Green slightly further down there. So we'll take a little look through the full standings here in Daniel Lochi. They're in P21 overall, but 4th in AM class, followed by Craig in P5, then Brand, and then we got Hayden Cupert there, Jonathan Ackers, Hamilton, and Andrew down there. And unfortunately, it's a little bit hard to read the names currently because of the text being cut off. We will have that rectified, of course, for next round, and so the remaining points on your screen. Isaac, let's have a little debrief on what was a fantastic race that we've just seen. This makes it so exciting. 4 Australian tracks to start this off. Phillip Island has been absolutely brilliant way to open the season, and we've got the Bend coming up in 3 weeks' time.
Yeah, look, I could not think of a better place to start, and what an evening it was. Just non-stop action. I feel like we had to have eyes in the back of our heads just to try and keep up with everything that was going on, and even then, that still was not enough for us to make sure we kept on top of everything. So definitely a couple things we probably didn't quite pick up on tonight. But again, in racing like this, when it's one make racing like that, you really realistically can't keep up with everything, and that's a hallmark of a great series when there's so much happening that the time just flies by, and absolutely has. So I'm really looking forward to getting out to the Bend in 3 weeks' time, Wednesday the 11th of February. That is going to be an absolute crack around. These cars are so fast, they're so lively, there's so much action going on that I cannot wait to see them around what is a very, very challenging circuit. And as you heard tonight, there's a couple of drivers that may not have had too much experience at the Bend before, so we could see some different names getting towards the pointy end of the field, which would be great to see.
Excellent, and thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in to TrackSpot TV. We'll be back, of course, in 3 weeks' time, same place, same time. So make sure you hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, turn on the bell for notifications so you can see all the racing action here on TrackSpot TV. You can check us out, of course, on www.trackspot.tv for all your broadcasting and commentary and media needs. Taking a quick look, of course, at our sponsors, of course, primary sponsor being SimRigs.com. Go and check them out on SimRigs.com for all of your premium chassis and high-quality sim racing gear. Go and check out Raceline Motorsport Racewear on raceline-racewear.com.au for the full range, including OMP, Alpine Stars, Sparco, Bell, Hands, and so many more. Go and check them out. And of course, our secondary sponsor, Apex Lab, founded to offer the sim racers opportunity to unleash their true potential. Go and check them out on apex-lab.co. And of course, don't forget, hashtag #BeLikeBrad. Brad Cooper, of course, organizing the event. Massive thanks to him. I think this bodes very, very well for the upcoming 15 rounds throughout the rest of 2026. My name is George Cooke. I've been joined in the commentary box by Isaac Fogarty. Thanks to everyone who's watched today. We look forward to bringing more racing action to you in 3 weeks' time. Until then, from Phillip Island, it is good night and goodbye.